Hello, everyone. How's it going? Dr. Incompetent here, and let's resume our complete beginner's guide to Dwarf Fortress, shall we? We're going to unpause the game and let these dwarves go. We're engraving the dining room. We're putting in some more places for people to sit, which is phenomenal. We've got a lumber stockpile, a stone stockpile. We are here making beds for all the new bedrooms that we built. We're making cabinets for those bedrooms. Nothing going on here, and we're making doors. So I think I'm going to go up and just look at my stockpile. We're doing well with bins and barrels, pretty reasonable. So because this is happening, and we're chopping down some trees, obviously, I'm going to just go ahead and push M, and let's mine out, just, for fun, like right there. And I will mine that out, even though we've already smoothed it. I'm going to put a small, teeny little stockpile up here that's just going to be for some more food. And we can even, just because I think it's funny, we can just have, a little pantry over here, too, that's just, food stockpile. Okay, and because you can see, our food stockpile here is getting pretty full, and I usually don't want it by the entryway, although it is nice if somebody wants to come in. We could also, if we wanted, expand this to look something like that. It's not at all important, but it's a thing that we could do. And I'm going to unpause it, and we're just going to push P. Oh, I have to right-click to close the mining. Push P to open a stockpile, and I'll just make a stockpile that's right here, and I'll accept it, and we're just going to put food here. Again, it's always just so good. We just click food, we right-click to close, to have stockpiles that are appropriate to the station. So you see there's this big table that's getting installed right here, and then we've got these chairs. So this is a great dining room that we're building, and might as well just have it so people can pop in and get food whenever they need it. Now, another cool thing that we could do, let's go straight down, okay, to where we're at, and you see that right here, we're on this level where we're making food, and this is where we're brewing all these drinks, and they're coming up here. I'm going to actually go ahead and mine, and where do I... My idea is, what we can do is actually build a stairwell down right here that goes down to here. So I'm going to go to stairs, and we're going to say, okay, start a staircase here and then go to here like that, and then somebody will do that, and eventually then we can build another food stockpile here that's closer to this, and so people can pop up stairs and fill and keep this filled, so there's just less travel time. A lot of what you want to think about with your base as you plan it out, and by the way, I'm a terrible planner. I try to do things organically and just adjust, but I don't preemptively block everything out. Some players do that, and that's awesome if that's your bag. I just kind of do things from the hip. So we want them, while we're using this dining room, because this might not be our permanent dining room as our fort gets bigger, it would be nice if they could just pop up and get food here, and then they wouldn't have to spend so much time going to get a meal, then coming back here and sitting down, and then, all of that stuff. So this is a way to do that. Now we've got the staircase built, and I'm just going to kind of move this over here. And, oh, you know what? How much space do I have? Oh, right. Regular mining. Oh, wait. Why am I only doing it one tile at a time? I don't want that. Oh, is this the edge? Oh, no. Okay. I must have clicked off of... here. Let me erase this mining. Yeah, I clicked on paint mode, and instead of... Okay, so that's a good thing to know. I want to be on rectangle mode, which is this kind of stamp, which lets you drag out a rectangle. If you click on the paintbrush, you can do it tile by tile. There's reasons to do it tile by tile. Sometimes I'll do that, but for the most part, I want this to be rectangle mode. So I'm going to go ahead and dig like this. There we go. And then I'm just going to kind of dig access to that here. And then this, I'm going to erase this. Yeah. And then I will make dig again. And we'll just kind of like combine this up and, you know, around like that. Now, sometimes if you cover up a stairwell, it will mess things up. There we go. So I don't want that to happen. So I had to repaint the stairwell. Okay. So hopefully they'll do that. We'll see how that goes. And now I need to build. Right-click to close the mining. Push B to build. We're going to go build doors. I'm going to put a door here. And I'm just going to say use the closest door. That's fine. And then we're going to go build doors and doors right here. Here we go. Use closest material like that. Fantastic. Now, the reason I'm putting doors on these stockpiles is whenever I'm storing food, I always want doors on these because if the food spoils and there's like rats or there are bugs and stuff, you don't want those to spill into your dining room. So the closed door will help prevent that. And now I'm just going to right click and unpause it. All right. And let's then go down. You can see they're digging this out. These bedrooms have been dug out. So we're going to go to build and we're going to go to doors and let's just do this all over again. We need to put doors everywhere. So we're going to start getting these bedrooms going. No more doors. Good. Fair enough. And I'm going to right click to close that. I'm going to say build and I'm going to go to furniture and I'm going to see how many cabinets do I have. So I'll put like a cabinet back here and one back here and one over here. Just give everyone something to store stuff. Okay, good. And then I'm going to go to build and actually before I go to build, I'm going to go to the here we go. I'm going to go to this screen. I'm going to push U to go to the creatures panel. And this is the nobles, the crown. It's over here to the bottom left. So here you can view your nobles as well as your administrators, military leaders, and other officials. So you can either push N to go to the nobles panel or click this crown in the bottom left of the heads-up display. And it will show you all of the different roles, political and power roles that people can take. So you know, they could be oligarchical if it's just like some kind of royalty thing. But you've also got the business of more practical stuff like a sheriff, head hammerer, you know, the chief surgeon, the chief medical dwarf. And certain functions can only be performed by other administrators such as the manager and the bookkeeper. So we want a manager right now and a bookkeeper eventually. So I'm just going to say don't show again. I'm going to say okay. So if I want a manager and you mouse over the manager, it says the manager handles work orders. Once your fortress reaches a certain population, the manager must work in an office to validate work orders. So I think actually we could have established somebody as a manager without anything else, but because our fortress isn't probably big enough, but I always like to give them an office anyway. So what you do is you, I will go back, I'm just going to right click and I'm going to click the plus button because you could see the manager is vacant, right? And I'm going to just click plus by this and it will tell you who has the best skills. So our expedition leader is an adequate organizer and this sorts this by most skilled at the top to the bottom. And so our expedition leader is good at this. So I'm going to click this, okay? And I believe that the expedition leader can do both of these things, but let's make sure. Now, it says right here, they need a study. So to have a study, they need, we need to build a zone that's called a study, and we need to build a bedroom. So currently, we have some problems, but we'll leave it just like this. I'm going to right-click, and once one of these, I'm going to unpause it. Once one of these bedrooms gets built with the door, we can assign it as a quarters, and then we can go to zones, and we can say, what's a study? well, it's an office, really. And so an office, requires certain furniture to be placed in it. Although it is a grim reminder of the winter hardships to come, the supply caravan from the godly channel is a welcome sight. Their eyes are alight with the anticipation of inspecting the splendid products of your industrious crafts dwarves. So this is a good reminder. We haven't built anything. We have nothing to sell these people. We're in bad shape as far as the caravan because we didn't really focus on that. We will be doing much better for the trade caravan next year because we're going to start building some crafts that we can trade. But right now we haven't built crafts dwarfs yet. So we could sell stuff if we want and buy stuff, trade with them, but we're not in that mode. So here, I'm going to pause it really fast. So what goes on is the trade caravan will come. They will come to our depot and they will unload their goods. We can load our goods on here. Okay, I'm going to just get away from that by left-clicking on the trade depot, and then you can just say move goods to the depot, and you can select all the stuff that you want. Now, a broker is like a noble that's for trading. They're better at haggling, negotiating. You don't have to have someone do that, but it's usually best for your prices to send the most eloquent person out there to do that job. Now, we're not going to worry about it for the time being, but I will tell you, in Dwarf Fortress, you're not trading for money. There's no money that you're getting. You're always trading for goods. Like, it's just a straight up, like, I'll trade you this for that, and they have a value, and you have a value. Usually, until you get good, and even then, the value of your stuff will be paltry compared to the value of their stuff. So you will have to, before they will be satisfied, you will have to overpay significantly for items because that's just how it rolls. But once we get good, it won't matter because we'll have so much wealth that we can just kind of like afford to splash around. So look at this. Our dining room is really coming together. All the tables are getting put in here. I'm going to push P for stockpile. I'm going to just put another kind of food stockpile here. And we're going to accept this, and I'm just going to call it food, and I'm going to right-click to close. Now, I'm going to click on this stockpile, and I'm going to say View Stockpile, and then I'm going to click the plus paintbrush for repaint, and I'm just going to kind of add this extra space and accept it. Nothing huge, just a little bit of extra space. Okay. I'm going to go down, and you can see here they are digging this out for us, which is tremendous. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to push mining again, and I am going to mine out, make this room a little bit bigger. I might put in one more still so that we can really crank out the beverages. I also might try to make this a little bit bigger and see if there's more farmland for us to get into. And this is going to a situation where we have these tree trunks, but I'm never going to cut down these trees right here. I'm going to at least try to remember not to do that so that we don't have to worry about that. And then I'm going to go up. And let's look at our bedrooms. Actually, go down, down, down. Okay, so people are installing doors. So this room actually does have a door. This guy's putting in the cabinet, it looks like. Okay, great. So if I wanted to make this, for example, an office, and I was like, draw it right here, it would, and I said accept, and I was like, this is somebody's office. Would it work, right? Well, they'll tell you if this is sufficient for an office, but generally we're going to need a desk and a chair. It might just be one or the other. I like to build them both, but what we're going to do is go to push build, and we're going to go to furniture, and I'm going to put a table right here. Oh, we don't have any tables left. Ouch. So then I will build... Do I have any chairs? Yeah. Okay, good. So I'll do that. And then I'm also going to assign this as a bedroom. So I'm going to click the bed, and I'm going to kind of... Now, you can make the entire thing around this, the bedroom, to make them feel like it's bigger. You're like picking the walls too. And it's okay if it overlaps with somebody else. Usually, just make this a huge bedroom, or you can just select what's inside here in the 3x3. But I'm going to select this whole zone. I'm going to call it a bedroom, and I'm going to accept it. And then it says, okay, well, it's overlapping bedroom with an office, and that's fine. And what we're going to do is we are going to assign a dwarf to this by clicking the plus button with the dwarf head on it, and we're going to give it to the expedition leader. And then you can click on the office, and actually, no. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go to zones again. I'm going to see if I can click on the office. Here we go. You see these arrows left and right up here? This is the bedroom, and then this is the office, and I'm going to assign the expedition leader to it like that. And now I'm going to right click. And then you can go into nobles, and I'm going to unpause it. And look, for currently, that office that we built is sufficient. So now the manager, the button has turned from red to green, meaning like this is a sufficient office for what he needs right now. So we have a manager and the expedition leader. They are, in fact, the same dwarf. And what we're going to do at this point is say that we can push O, and we can go to work orders. So work orders are used to automate tasks in workshops. These work orders are set to complete a certain number of tasks and can be given to start conditions. For instance, you can create an order to make wooden bins if you're out of empty ones, to brew drinks if you're running low, or to make 5 statues every month. So this is kind of like a really cool way to automate your labor, just to make sure you have what you need without having to micromanage so much. So I'm going to say, okay, so you can set a work order from here, or you can now go to a particular workshop and do it. Now, what I'm going to do is push O to open the work orders. I'm going to say, don't show this tooltip again, the tutorial thing. And I'm going to click over here where it's like the clipboard with the plus, and we're going to add a new work order. And for example, I'm going to say barrel, okay? And I'm going to say, I only want a wooden barrel. So I'm going to type wood, barrel. So I'm going to type wooden barrel like this. I'm going to say make wooden barrel. So this is now a new work order. Currently, it's just like make 10 wooden barrels. That's the order. And so your manager you can't do this unless you have a manager. But now that we've assigned our expedition leader to also be the manager, given him an office so that he can do his job, he will go around and make sure these things happen. And so this work order will be fulfilled by any dwarf that can do it. But you can specialize this. You can say only from this workshop, and you can like then assign the dwarf to a workshop if you want to really control who's doing what. But you can also change the parameters here. So you can change the number of shops that can be used, but I don't care. Let me go back to this. Any shop, that's right. And then you can go over here and you can click, and if you mouse over this, you see in the upper right, it explains what this is doing. Change the number of times the task will be performed. You can increase it, you can decrease it, you can change the overall number, but then you can also set conditions. So what I will say is, I click the less than or equals than button up here, and it gives you some suggested conditions. If the amount of empty barrels available is less than 10, then make more. So here's what I'm saying. I want my drinks to always be made. I don't want to talk about barrels because they might be filled with drinks and it's not a good indicator. But if they're empty barrels, then I need empty barrels. I have to have empty barrels to make more drinks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, if the amount of empty barrels, I'm going to add this condition by pushing plus. And then now it says, okay, if the amount of empty barrels available is less than 10, then they will make 10. So, like, if we get to 9 barrels, and whenever somebody checks this, then it's like, oh, wait a minute, we need to make more, so make 10 more. All right, now you can also adjust this, and then you could say if the amount of barrels available is actually less than 20 by clicking the number. Okay, so I'm going to be good, and I'm going to push enter to satisfy that, and then you can change the type, the material, the properties, but I'm fine with this. Now, okay, it says restarts if completed and the conditions are checked daily. You can click on the clock to change, check monthly, check seasonally, check yearly, one-time order, but I want restarts if completed and you check it every day. This way I know we're checking every day to make sure we have enough barrels, and if we don't, we're going to make 20. We make 10. I like this. This is a great way to keep barrels in stock. Okay, so then once we're satisfied with this, we can just right-click away, and That didn't work. Okay, sorry about that. You have to... No, this is right. The condition is right. It just doesn't show it. So I right-click. A condition has been set. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just see... Look at this. You see how there's nobody at this carpenter's workshop? I'm going to unpause it and see what happens. So the manager has to kind of check the thing and then tell someone to do it. So they might take a second to start creating barrels, but let's see if they'll do that on their own at some point here. See if anybody gets into the business. Yep, look at this. Somebody's making barrels. So I didn't set anything at this workshop. I told them to do nothing here. Instead, I pushed O for work order, and now we have as many work orders, or we have as many barrels as we need, hopefully. So this is fantastic. I love this because usually what you do is just like you'd set somebody to just do it infinitely, and then you just kind of eyeball or keep track of like how many you had. This way you can not have to micromanage quite as much. It takes a second to get used to the work orders, and you have to, of course, have a manager, but we do. So we're doing great. I'm going to keep doing this. Some tasks you want done indefinitely, of course, but that is a task that I am fine only having done right there. Now, you see how diplomacy, what is this? This says, oh, okay. The expedition leader meets with your outpost liaison. So, Asmel is the liaison from the mountain homes, and he says, let's discuss your situation. So, we can get a caravan that comes from the elves. We can also get a caravan that comes from the dwarves, and that's from the mountain home. That's like from our capital where our migrants came from. And you say, okay, here's our situation. And you just click okay. And he says, all right, there's much to share. And so you get information about the politics and the armies and the good things and the bad things going around near you. And then now you say make requests for next year's caravan. And they'll charge more for these items. The idea is that with the trade caravan, you don't really get to control what they bring. They kind of bring stuff and you hope that it's good. But you can emphasize that they bring certain things, but they come at a premium. So they'll charge more for stuff that you request. But that is okay, because here is what we want. What we want, all right, are plump helmets. So we're going to go down and we're going to find plants. I'm going to click on plants and we're going to click on plump helmets. This is what we want 1 million of. I'm going to say done, and they're going to be priced high, but right now I'm not too concerned about anything else. I just need to get so many plump helmets that our food situation is almost stabilized for the entire game. We want more plump helmets, and we say okay. And then let's discuss what you're willing to offer, what we're willing to offer. They want seeds and crowns if you're able to provide some. Okay, so this is telling you, like, hey, if you aim at making seeds and crowns, like, you know, crowns are like decorative helmets, basically. I mean, they're crowns. Then they'll pay more for these things. We say, okay. And then now this will happen next year. So we, like, planned. There is a caravan here right now. And this is, you can see how they've set up at our trade depot. I'm going to pause it just to look at it. They've kind of put their goods here. You can click on this and you can go. And if you want to trade, you have to get your broker there. Or if you don't have a broker, you just click anyone requested at the depot. So that means anyone will go there and just trade. You're not going to get the best prices, but at least you get to trade. Right now, we have no trader needed at depot selected, so nobody's doing anything. So we could go and trade, but I'm actually not going to trade right now because I'm okay with what we have. But I just wanted to show you how to do that. We also don't really have that much to sell. So as I look at this, okay, as we uncover more, I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to remove this stockpile, and then I'm going to push create stockpile, and I'm going to make a stockpile that's like up here and then goes down here and then also is kind of here and here. Effectively, this stockpile is only going to be on the tiles that I can't farm. And then I'm going to accept it, and this is going to be a food stockpile, and I'm going to right click. Now, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to say build, and I'm going to go to workshop. We're going to go to farming. We're going to go to farm plot, and we're going to select as much of this as we possibly can. Good. Okay, it wouldn't let me do it because there's a building present. So I'm just going to keep going and making all of these a farm plot. No mud soil, building present. Okay. And then here we go. All right. And then we're going to just kind of like make all of this more farmland because I'm going to click on these tiles as well. There we go. And we're going to right click. So now we're going to get more farm if we have it. We might not have the seeds to make this work, but that's okay. You can see they're coming in to help make this for us. All right, I'm going to pause it while that's happening. Let's look at the bedroom situation. The bedroom situation is great. So now it's time to go to orders. And you could see when we go to orders, the order that we gave to make barrels, they're making barrels. And they're on 6 out of 10 of those barrels. So this is perfect. And we're going to add more orders, okay? I'm going to click create a new order. What do we need? We need beds. All right, I'm going to click on beds. And I'm going to go very similar to what we just did before. I'm going to say, hey, this is not going to be a one-time order. If the amount of beds is less than 10, make 10. And it's checked daily, and I like this. And I'm going to just right-click to go back. Now we actually have a hierarchy of job orders, and you can see that they are done from top to bottom. So if you want beds to be prioritized over barrels, for example, then you can click this blue arrow to like bump up beds to the top. Or you can click the blue arrow up and down to move the orders in the sequence that you want. Now, sometimes it doesn't matter because they can activate them if they're using different workshops, but you use that to kind of prioritize. Now, I'm going to add another order. We've got beds. We need doors, okay? But I want stone doors. Rock door maybe is what it's called. Here we go. Make rock door. And the same kind of thing. I'm going to say, hey, if we don't have 10 doors, then make 10 more doors. This will always keep us with beds. This will always keep us with doors. Okay, so this is like the kind of stuff that we want. And I right-click on this. I also want another order. I want wooden table. Actually, no, I don't want wooden table. That's fine. We're going to go with bins, though, for sure. It's wooden bin, I think. Is it right? Yeah, wooden bin. Okay, same thing. If you've got less than 10 empty ones, then make me more. I'm going to go for, I'm just adding stuff that I want right now. Rock table. And we will do the exact same thing. Give me 10. And what else do I want? Oh, thrones. Yep. I'm going to click add, and we need throne. But I want it to be rock, just like this. And we're going to say less than 10. Restart it. Check it daily. Perfect. Right click. Okay. So now we're like just keeping a supply of beds, doors, bins, barrels, tables, and thrones. And I like this quite a bit. I'm going to right click and close this up. We can also, at this point, for all of these bedrooms that are completed, we can go to zones, and then we can just select bedroom and start making this a bedroom. We say accept, and then we can just give this to a dwarf. If a dwarf has a bedroom, it will say. So, for example, the expedition leader, it says in green, has meager quarters. So we know they have one. So let's go ahead and just start giving people or giving the dwarves bedrooms. All right. Now, you can do this in whatever order you want, like most important dwarves. We're going to give everybody a bedroom. So I'm just going to work down this list. And I'm going to right click, and there it goes. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to say zone bedroom right here. This is going to be your bedroom, accept, add a dwarf. There you go. Right click. Now you need to do this with places that have doors. Looks like, okay, we got a puppy. This is the caravan is here. The outpost liaison is here. We can't brew drinks from plants because we don't have any more. So we've run out. We created a masterpiece of engraving times 8. Look at that. So I'm going to go up. Our engraver was already good, so they're just throwing down masterpiece engravings. And you can tell the quality based on the characters around. You could see in the top part of the HUD, there's a pop-down box that's in purple that says Detailed Claystone Floor. The characters around the word detailed reflect the level of mastery and excellence of it. So like this one, for example, it'll tell you, this is a great floor. And the higher the quality, people become happy. Like if I click on this dwarf, okay, let's see if we can see this. No, not yet. Let me see if anybody is responding favorably to this. Okay, look. She was content after eating a pretty decent meal, so she had good food, and she was blissful dining in a good dining room. So the better the dining room, the better the food, your dwarves are getting happy, right? Look at this. She felt pleasure near a fine bed and a fine cabinet. So your dwarves are actually happy being next to high-quality craftsmanship items. So you make them a sweet dining room, you make them nice chairs, you get better craftsmanship, and then this just promotes their overall well-being, which is fantastic. Now, you have a dwarf that's unhappy. So that's less than ideal. You can click U to go to units. You could find who this person is. This stoneworker, for example, and you'd be like, what's wrong with you? And they were angry, because we didn't make their temple yet. I thought we did make that, didn't we? Where did we put that temple? Here it is. All right, let's see if we can make this a temple. So we're going to go to, what you have to do is you have to click the zoning button, then you select meeting area, and then we're going to select this room that we built as the temple, and we just say accept. And then we're going to click this plus button on the wooden sign, and we're going to say new temple. And we're going to give it the coven of coloring, which they want. We have 13 worshippers of this. So we're going to say, okay, this is what this is. It's called the Mountainous Sanctuary, and we're going to right-click. And hopefully, this will make them happy. So now, if I look at... we're going to need to dress this up a bit. It's not fancy enough, but you can see it is a temple. So it's not huge, but it's good enough. I think the temple needs to be, enormous. So I don't know if this is going to count, but here we are. And what I'm going to do is actually go to mining, and I want to... I need to smooth. I want people to smooth this up. We're going to make this really nice. Okay, great. So now this is smoothing is set. Now we've got... we planned for the next caravan. We've set a bunch of work orders, and we need to click on this farm right here, and this is going to be plump helmets. Plump helmets... It's a little awkward that these aren't one big farm and you have to kind of do this for all of them, but just make sure you've got all of these being plump helmets. We want to make as many as we possibly can. And awesome. Okay, so we set our manager so we could do work orders. We're getting a bunch of chairs. We're getting everything that we need is being built, sort of. We still, though, have a lot to do. We need to get into crafting. And we'll do that next time. Everyone, I hope you're still finding this series to be useful and fun. We're getting there. We've got 100 drink, 50 food. We got 16 population. We're getting these bedrooms completed. And there's so much to do in Dwarf Fortress. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and thank you for all of your tips, those veteran Dwarf Fortress players who are working to help new players get into and understand this game. I appreciate it so much. Take care.